The CEO and some big marketing people at new rideshare company Tryp had me and several other rideshare Uber tubers at their headquarters to discuss the app and the future. Here are my positive reactions from the meeting. Hey everyone, this is Kevin, the Apptrepreneur, and yes, I promised I would be making these videos. Now, here's the thing. I did like a little summary of the Tryp meeting yesterday, and a couple days before, I did like that brief little live stream. You know, not really an important video, but it was like a, hey, we're all together, let's make a quick little video. It's always fun. It's like seeing Robin Williams on Friends. It's like, oh yeah, I know those guys. But I did promise a more substantial take on the company, and I figured the best way to do that was to have a video where I talk about what I liked about what they told me about Tryp and what I didn't like. Because here's the thing, yesterday's summary video got a lot of interesting reactions where a lot of people said, be careful what you promote, you don't want your reputation to go down on this, and that is true. I do want to be careful what I am promoting and what I am not promoting. I don't think I actually promoted Tryp. I definitely laid out some concerns, but I said I was hopeful it would work, and I think that's a fair place to be, especially if you are a journalist. You know, if this is journalism, I don't know anymore. But I will say, I think having two videos where I make it absolutely clear where I stand, both on the positive and the negative, is good. And since people don't like 20-minute long videos, this is the good video, but I will be uploading the bad, and you will need to watch that as well. So let's get started with the first positive thing about Tryp, and that is it is another rideshare company. And believe it or not, that is a cause for celebration, because nobody wants to even attempt to go after Uber and Lyft. And part of the reason is because they've seen other companies just totally fail. They have seen Via go nowhere. They have seen Zipcar not zipping along too often. And Juno, well, it exists sort of, kind of. Unfortunately, Yay Driver never got off the ground. So it's always nice to see a rideshare company attempt to get off the ground. Second thing I liked about them is that they actually had the meeting. We were actually having bets before the meeting took place whether or not the CEO would actually show up. We were expecting him to say he was too busy and he wasn't actually going to do it. But in all fairness, he did show up. He shook our hands. He talked to us. He answered questions. He took feedback seriously. At least I hope he took feedback seriously. There was one thing we strongly suggested he do, which was not rate related, by the way, and they seem to seriously be considering it. And if they actually launch the app with that feature implemented, I think that will benefit everybody, both drivers, customers, and third, the company. I think it will benefit everyone. Now, I can't exactly say what that is. If they don't do it, I will certainly tell you what we suggested and what they didn't do. But they seem to be taking our feedback seriously, which is a lot more than I can say for Uber or Lyft. Also, I like the fact that they do not take a piece out of your ride. Now, here's one of the ways that they're going to make the rides cheaper for the customers while paying us more. This is how they've explained it anyway. Because they are going to charge a lower booking fee. They are going to charge a lower booking fee, and yes, their rates are going to be lower than Uber's and Lyft's. Not by a whole lot, like by 10 cents or so, and there's going to be no surge. But for drivers, that is offset by the fact that, yes, they aren't taking commission from you. So you get to keep all that money, which means even though they are charging the customers less, you might actually be making more money. And what's more, it will be consistent money. Because here's the thing, I know drivers like surge. I like surge. Customers hate surge. They absolutely hate surge. I mean, they'll pay it if they have to, but they don't like it. And by getting away from surge, that might be a good way to pull a lot of customers over while not taking it out on the drivers. I liked that they emphasized that the drivers would not be penalized to beat Uber and Lyft at their own game. That is a very, very positive message. What's more, they have a very, very generous referral program. And the referral program, now this is the point where I will just slightly even say, yeah, this is kind of the pyramid thing that I talked about. However, it is still generous. And if they can actually sustain it, then yes, some people will be making a lot of money not even driving. And if they want to drive, that's another positive thing. And now let's talk about the positive of the $200 a month fee, because there are downsides to that. And we will talk about them in the negative aspects that I have taken away from this meeting. But here's one of the positives, or at least a few of the positives, I should say. Number one, if you drive full-time already, this $200 is nothing to you. It really isn't. You will easily pay this, and you're paying it for a service that rewards you for being customer-centric and doesn't take a commission. That is positive. Here's the other thing that's positive about it. It won't flood the market with part-time drivers who just want beer money. It will only serious drivers will want to do this because they're actually going to invest into this. So there you go. That is another positive thing. And the third positive thing is that because you're paying into it, and if they implement that thing that I wish I could talk about, but I just can't, then customers will be way more trusting of Tryp because they know that it is drivers who put their own money into this and they have been vetted properly, and it's just a hair cheaper than Uber and Lyft. That would be a powerful way to get customers. Also, there are going to be stock options. Now, there is a negative to this as well. We will talk about that in the negative video. However, the more you drive, the more equity you get in the company. And there are businesses that do this. And Juno did this, and it inspired a lot of drivers to drive for Juno and to recommend people take Juno. And I think word of mouth could potentially be very, very powerful for Tryp when you have all these things factoring into it. And the final thing is that Tryp actually plans to be profitable within 3 months. They want to also go public within a couple years. This is especially positive because this isn't a company that plans to subsidize everything. They are a company that want to be a business. They want to be a business. They want to succeed in the long run. They've apparently set up a plan to be profitable and to succeed in the long run. And the CEO confidently, and who knows how confident he should be, but he confidently stated that they have watched Uber and Lyft for years. They have dissected their business model. They have thought it up and down, and if they do this right, they will beat both of them at their own game. That is a very exciting thing because one of the things that is being brought up with the IPOs, and there will be some IPO discussion videos near the end of the week. I haven't been ignoring that news. Is that it's going to be very interesting to see how Wall Street reacts to two companies going public that are privately valued in the billions of dollars and yet lose billions of dollars, or in this case, millions. So it's going to be interesting to see what the market, or how the market responds to that, I should say. So on those aspects, Tryp is looking very promising. Objectively, I can say that. Now, again, this is a 2-part series. There are negatives to this, and there are things that I have a lot, and I mean a lot, of concerns about. I am not going full out endorsing them just yet. I'm just telling you my impressions. So these are the positive things I have taken from the company. But now that we've gotten the positive out of the way, it's going to be time to talk about the negative, and I will be back tomorrow with that. But for convenience sake and for the future people who might watch this video, I'm going to include a link at the end of the second part so you can jump right into it. In the meantime, what do you folks think? Does any of this sound positive? Are you excited? I would love to know. So, you know the drill. Comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.